Pastor Sam Peterson, you want to come up? And we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight. We come in this place to discuss things that will affect our community. These leaders that we have selected and who are laboring before us, we pray for wisdom for them and wisdom for us all, Lord, that we might walk in the way that will bless those that are around us. Lord, let us not ask what we can get out of something, but let us ask the question, God, what can we do to bless other people and minister to them? And we just pray now that you would guide these leaders as they deliberate over the different things that they'll be talking about tonight. Lord, strengthen them by your Spirit, and may your presence be here in this room. And we give you praise for that in the name of Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, we will bring this meeting to order. Susan, please note that we do have a quorum. First item on the agenda is the reading approval of the minutes from the March 25th, 2025 meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Is there any comments or discussion about it? Very well. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. So moved. Thank you, council. The next item is the notice of application for West Virginia ABCA license, which is in 110 Harper Park and Harper Park Drive. And I believe Captain Morgan has a little more information on what's at 110 Harper Park Road.
Yeah, this notice is for a change of ownership. Vishnu Patel applicant, Pearl Hospitality LLC, doing business as Hampton Inn, Beckley, 110 Harper Park Drive, map 54, parcel 40, has filed a notice of intent to apply to operate a Class B licensed establishment at this location in the B1 Neighborhood Highway Business District. This location, 110 Harper Park Drive, in the intended use Class B licensed establishment, is a permitted use in the B1 zone. The establishment's location is more than 300 feet from any residential district or office residential transitional district, which meets the requirements of any zoning prohibitions for this use and location. The location is not in an area designated by Common Council for the use of community development block grant funds.
Very good. Anybody from council have any questions for Captain Morgan on that? No? Okay, we'll move on. Next up is the brief comments that we've been doing by the council members and interim city manager. Again, this could be any ideas you have. It's not a discussion, just a brief, what you'd like to maybe see on a future item on the agenda or areas of concern. And Janine, we'll start with you.
Okay, Mayor, thank you. I have several comments here. I just want to thank Jessica Farish for conducting an interview with me as one of the remarkable women for Women's History. For Women's History Month. And Councilman Cody Reedy, thank you for the beautiful remarks that you did about me on TV. I thank you for that. And thank you, Sherry, for this. Who would have thought about this? Nobody but Sherry Hunter. Thanks. Thank you. And also, congratulations to Jessica Farish. She received a prestigious award from the Virginia's Associated Press Broadcasting for the best investigative reporting for 2024 on the Quantez Burks murder case. And on Saturday, you are cordially invited to the 80th Charter Day Luncheon for Beckley Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. The keynote speaker is Dr. Rosalind Clark, artist. She's the president of Benedict College, and that is this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock a.m., and the price is $50, and it's at the Raleigh County Convention Center. And thank you to Board of Public Works for all of you, what you all do for our community. And I am still talking about the old Piney Oak School. I am hearing from my constituents that juveniles are climbing the fence and they are going into that building. So that building is still an eyesore. And so if we could hold the property owner accountable for that building, I really would appreciate it. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Janine. Kip?
Oh, sorry.
We have to share a microphone. I just have a few things on comments. I'd like to know, Leslie's not here, but Bill, Kelly, have you all worked on Wi-Fi or looked at the Wi-Fi at the campground yet?
Not yet, but it's
Okay. All right. And then we're moving along with Black Knight, the golf. Ryan's got some good ideas. He's been pushing that. We're hoping to get open here in the next, couple weeks?
Well, I think week. Oh, yeah, Leslie's not.
Yeah, Leslie's not
I
here.
think the
So.
14th is what.
The 14th? Okay, good. All right, buildings, we've been working on the buildings, our abandoned buildings uptown. And I was going to ask Mr. Gerald, the auction of our surplus material or vehicles, do you know when that's going?
That's going to be online.
Yeah, do you know when, or somebody asked me?
We haven't got a date
Okay,
set yet.
all right.
It'll be published in the paper. I'll
All
send
right.
it to you guys when that
Okay,
happens.
thank you.
Yep.
And then Pam, good job on public works on city pickup and all that. I know y'all have got your hands full right now with that because we've been talking about it. And Jill, congratulations on your statue, your Bill Weathers Memorial. Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Kip. Frank?
Yes, sir, appreciate you. First, I'd like to thank Pam and her crew. Y'all doing an excellent job. I had a lady call me at the end of Hilton Street because I guess they didn't know it went on, but they hopped on immediately. I appreciate that. And then also on Atkins Street. And also, Jill, y'all did an excellent job on the Bill Withers. People was talking about it, and I appreciate it for everybody. It was beautiful. Everybody, it turned out great. The weather was great, and I appreciate that. And also, Captain Morgan, I appreciate you too, sir. You sent out 2 people. Today, I met over in the East Park area concerning a house that been there like it for about 14 years, and there's going to seem like there'll be some things done. Police Captain, I appreciate you staying in contact with me with a couple of issues that's over in the area. I appreciate that. I mean, all your department heads, y'all are absolutely doing a fantastic job, believe it or not. I mean, there's some things that we can probably correct not on y'all part, but also here too. But if we work together as a team, I think things can get better. And I just appreciate everybody up here. I feel confident, I feel good today because of the reason fact that I think we're heading in the right direction. Still got some things that we got to take care of. But if we, work together as a team. And Janine, I also called Jessica, myself personally, and told her she did a fantastic job. But girl, I tell you what, you was walking them heels. That's the only thing I can tell you. You was walking, I don't care. I mean, but it's just the overall thing, it was great. It was great. And I appreciate everybody up here.
Nancy?
I think it's already been covered.
Good answer. Natalie?
Congratulations, my friend, well deserved. Janine and I have been about town together. We attended the Just for Kids fundraiser, and that was very moving. That's important. If you can give a little support, please do so. Thank you, Pam and Public Works, for filling the potholes on Maxwell Hill. There was one in the 500 block that people were really excited to have filled. I'm not sure which one it was. I'm sure I probably hit it, but anyway, they were excited about that. Thanks to Jeremiah Johnson and the Sanitary Board, we have 4 projects going on Maxwell Hill right now. Had a little drainage problem here and there, but they're fixing it. And Phil, thank you. I know you were thrown in and baptized by fire, but you're doing okay.
Well, thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. So yesterday, I got to present a proclamation to just right down the road on Canal Street it was at Just for Kids. And I don't know how many of you all are familiar with it, but it was super informative for me to be there. April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. I don't know if everybody knew that, but let me tell you one stat that I can't get over this. I couldn't believe when I read it. That 10% of the children have experienced sexual abuse before the age of 18 in our state. 10%. I would have thought less than 1%. I could not, I thought about that all day yesterday after I left there. And just for kids, you know, they take the kids in, they interview them, they make them, you know, counsel them and everything else. So I think anything we can do, you know, maybe it's just donations to Just for Kids, but I'm just glad there's organizations out there. I got to spend a lot of time with Danae Johnson, Dr. Danae Johnson, and I was just blown away by that number. I mean, if you think about, just think about any school in Raleigh County right now, grade school, middle school, whatever, and 1 of every 10 kids getting off that bus has had some sort of sexual abuse. I mean, to me, it's disturbing. I think it's terrible. So you never know when you see kids out there, like I've substitute taught at Beckley Stratton and some other schools, and you see kids that are quiet or awkward or, you know, and you just never know what somebody's going through. So again, I was appreciative that they invited me, and I just want to get that out there that it is Child Abuse Awareness Month. So.
Oh, and did you hear the human trafficking figure that surprised me? 17 kids in our area have been identified as part of human trafficking. And I'm like you, I thought, nah, not much of a chance here, not much goes on here. 17 have been identified this past year as a part of human trafficking.
Yeah, it's terrible. So anything we can do. Sherry?
Just for Kids is one of the nonprofits under the umbrella of the United Way of Southern West Virginia. Out of the 7 counties, they're one of the 40-some nonprofits that are vetted nonprofits, and it is an amazing facility.
Mm-hmm.
They take all measures to make sure that those children are protected, and oftentimes those social workers, those guidance counselors at schools are the ones that notify. So the teachers like Natalie and others are there for boots on the ground. On a positive note, I have had so many people contacting me about the spring cleanup. They are so appreciative of the city of Beckley that we provide that. And I know that it's tough when you have recycling the same week as you have the spring cleanup. So Pam, they're doing a marvelous job. To our parking commissioner, Cody, I received a note. I really don't want to paraphrase it, but if you don't mind, I'd like to read this because it's in its entirety. It makes a lot of sense. Beckley absolutely needs constant free parking along the streets and more. Ticket and tow the offenders that work uptown and stay all day in free spots. It's absolutely wrong. The app payment is not easy. People have to have a favorable, this is so true, people have to have a favorable experience uptown or they won't return. This person has personally had several frantic people ask where to park and not to have to pay with an app on their phone. This is noted. Oak Hill, Fayetteville, Hinton, Pineville, Lewisburg, all free. I think it is this day and time, it's very regressive to have to pay to park. The person said they were sorry for the rant, but if other municipalities are able to do that and they don't lose a lot of funding, or I don't know how that's, Jessica, y'all can address that better than me. I know at one point the parking lot beside the old DHHR office, we had to have so many spaces there because of a bond or something. That's probably long gone. That was a long time ago.
So we did have a parking bond that
there.
has been paid off. However, we do still have insurance on all the properties that's high dollar. We still have several expenses that are very costly. The parking garage itself is expensive to maintain. So those kind of things need to come into play too,
Okay.
as to how we afford to do that.
Okay, thank you. I just felt I needed to read that. And thank you.
You're right. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Cody?
Yeah, I mean, just to touch on that, I mean, we are hopefully coming down here in the next item. We're going to talk about 2-hour parking. And, you know, right now we're kind of looking at temporary just to fix a lot of the confusion that's going on with the downtown parking. You know, a lot of the parking meters don't work and stuff. So we're just doing that so it's less confusing, easier to, ticket and keep people from parking there all day. They're taking advantage of the system. But hopefully in the coming parking commission meeting, we can, break down the numbers of the pros and cons of, replacing with new parking meters rather than, going free parking. And we'll definitely look at all the options, and I'll try to bring all the options to you all that's available, and get a couple companies hopefully to, I think me and Jessica's talked about sending out an RFP to get bids on new parking meters, and then kind of let that presentation come to a parking commission meeting. So that's definitely, something we can look at and break it down and see what's best for us at the end of the day. We have bills and insurances we have to take care of, so we'll figure it out one way or the other. But I did have a couple things under my comments. I got reached out by a couple downtown business owners about the Budget Inn Motel. They were with concerns that maybe that's turning into like a homeless shelter of some sort. I don't know for sure. Maybe that's something we can get some information on. There's quite a bit of concern on that. Then I had, are we under like a current agreement with the bus station, like the Greyhound bus?
Yes.
And so what does that entail, or is that something like we could speak of? Like, does it have to be in the parking garage? Is that true? With somebody had told me that it was because of grant money. We received grant money in the past to build the big project, that we would have to keep
We're
that.
supposed to have transportation, some form of transportation in that building.
Okay.
That was the original agreement
You
when that
think-
building was built.
Do you think New River Transit could qualify as that?
We can look. I don't know off the top of my head.
I know just, we have a lot of trafficking coming in from Detroit and Ohio, and a lot of drugs and crime coming in off the Greyhound bus. And I know we've talked about before, maybe either relocating that to a different location, or, maybe get a survey of how many actual Beckley citizens use that. I mean, if it comes to the point where we don't have a very, very small number of citizens, maybe that's something we could relocate. I do, a lot of downtown owners, business owners have reached out to me of the foot traffic it brings, the people coming off the buses. And from a personal experience, my father had a firearm stole and ended up catching the person at the bus station with this gun that was transferring a whole duffel bag to Detroit that they were going to swap for drugs. So that was years ago. And so, I mean, I know it's just getting worse, but if that's something we could maybe look into. And
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mr. Gerald and I met with New River Transit last week or a week and a half ago,
Yeah.
and I brought that up about the Greyhound, and they told us 100% fact, there's a lot more people that get on that bus and leave town than get off here.
Really?
So, yeah, because we was very concerned for us.
so maybe that's something we can look into,
Sure.
statistics, and see what percentage of Beckley citizens are actually using it compared to out-of-staters. And even somebody brought a suggestion of have, somebody there when, what times they're coming. We could set up the traffic of have somebody there and almost have like a custom system where they're going to give information of, I'm coming from so-and-so town, I'm coming here for this reason, I'm going to be here this long. So therefore, get some kind of record if Chief Bailey's guys or women arrest one of these individuals and they said they were going to leave in 2 days and that they were here to see family, but really they were here doing a drug deal, then we could, maybe some kind of, if we're going to have to keep it there, we could put in some kind of custom system to keep track and information of it. But it's just a couple ideas that had reached out to me.
Cody, and I'm sorry, I know a lot of federal inmates use the bus as transportation.
That's true, yeah.
when
That's
they
what they
release-
said. Now
When they
want to bring
release
it
from
up.
federal
Get it
prison.
Yeah.
Transportation now.
Yeah, Al.
And then the last thing I had was the rep that came and spoke to us last year from Dolly Parton's Imagination Library reached back out to me, and she was hoping to get on this coming budget, but I told her she might be a little bit late to that. Last year, am I correct? Did we use our money for that, or how did that work out? Is that how it was?
You tried to use opium money, from what I understood,
And
and the Attorney General said you couldn't.
It couldn't do it. Did it end up coming out of general
It
fund?
ended up coming out of the
Yes.
general fund,
How much was that? Do you remember?
16,000.
16.
Cody, I need to also tell you that my Delta Kappa Gamma chapter is very, very active with Imagination Library, and we gave them $6,000 last year. So if we're going to talk about them being on the budget, we probably need to take that into consideration too, because we're still working toward that. So, that's a constant for us. So if we're giving them 6, if our little club is giving them 6, then maybe we could work out something else, but
Gotcha.
that needs to
Yeah,
be
she
taken
just
out.
asked if I would bring it up in tonight's meeting to see
Yeah.
what she needed to do to get back on. She said even next year she would come present earlier if that's what needed to be, but just maybe we can talk after on that.
Not a problem.
That's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Gerald?
Everybody's mentioned Just for Kids. They have put in an application for a donation or contribution. Will we be presenting those contributions and donations to you for approval later on? Not tonight, but later on. Also, somebody mentioned Jeremiah. He's in Washington, D.C. on some federal issues concerning sanitation and those type of issues. He also went to Charleston for House Bill, I think it's 3179 maybe, pertaining to some sanitation and Clean Water Acts. So that's where Jeremiah is. We had our I've met with organizations and commissions. I've had our department meeting and staff meetings. We've hired somebody for the golf course. Hopefully he got registered today to start working. We'll proceed with that. Also, I went to UBB Memorial Saturday, and it was very nice. And I spoke with Senator Roberts and several people there. Miss Bullock was there, and Chamber of Commerce, and so forth. But that's about all I got right now.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is old business. Council members, are there any old business? No? Then we'll move on to new business, and the first item is the approval of state contract pricing for fire department vehicles. At this point, I'll turn it over to Jessica for more information on it.
Okay. The fire department has 3 vehicles that they are going to be purchasing. Will be reimbursed by the fire levy funds on these 3 vehicles. They all came off of state contracts, so we're able to do without the bid process on these. They are purchasing 2 Ford F-150s. They're at $44,615 each, and 1 GMC 3500 HD through Matheny GMC for $50,162. And I'm recommending for approval, I suppose.
So we do have to take a vote on that?
Yeah, need a motion
Okay.
to approve
May I have a
that.
motion to approve the contract for the fire department vehicles?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion or any comments, questions from council? Nobody? Okay, all those in favor of approving the contract price for the department vehicles, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, please say nay. Okay, so moved. Thank you, council. So next up is where we've already talked about the ordinance establishing free 2-hour parking, on-street parking in downtown Beckley.
You skipped the paper.
You missed one.
Oh, did I?
The paper.
Oh my gosh, I need my glasses. Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit easier to follow this one.
I can start bringing my own. Oh, God, that's awesome.
I was gonna say, you don't wanna look at mine.
All right, next up is the approval of purchasing cooperative pricing for paver for the Board of Public Works.
Okay.
At this point, I'll turn it over to Mr. Gerald.
Sure. In reference to the paver, it is coming from a government cooperative bidding process, and it's coming from Sourcewell Contract, as the document provided is 060-122-WLR. It's also a welder-type paver that is Public Works is familiar with, and they will be coming doing training with it. The good part about this is they have one in stock. So we actually, I asked them to hold it until I got your blessing. So it's here, it's $211,625. It started out being $224. So we got it down a little bit for them. So I'm asking for your approval.
Very good. May I have a motion to approve the purchase of the new paver?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments for
So-
Mr. Gerald?
Yes, in line with this right here, so Public Works, will we be still contracting paving out, or we gonna start doing majority?
It all depends on how big a job is, I say. I mean, if you're looking at a complete roadway or something like that, I'm sure that we probably, I'm not that familiar. Hopefully, we got
I
the,
recognize Pam. 'cause
hopefully, we got the
Pam,
expertise to do it,
Yeah,
okay? They'll have to be trained on this particular model and year model. But,
What we do is try to find, if there's a couple large streets that need attention, we will try to get those contracted.
Okay,
But if it's the smaller streets, our regular residential streets, we'll take care of them,
Okay.
as always.
so like Jewett Avenue, yes.
We are, that is definitely getting contracted out because that is a large street and there's a lot of drainage problems and stuff on it.
Thank you.
And may I input into this? If it's a grant, you have to bid it out. So we can't do the paving like Urick Avenue. Urick Avenue is under a HUD grant, so it has to be bid out.
Right, okay. I mean,
Okay.
because we already
All
got
right.
the money for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Is that CDBG? Was that your
Yes.
CDBG?
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Mr. Gerald?
No. Good.
Okay, very good. All those in favor of approving the purchase of the new paver, please say so by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, next up is the ordinance establishing the free 2 hours of on-street parking in downtown Beckley. At this point, I'll turn it over to Mr. Fowle for more.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, tonight's the ordinance that establishes the free 2-hour parking in downtown Beckley. This has already been discussed tonight by council members, and I think everybody's familiar with what we're doing. Basically, it's going to be on the main streets. It'll be on Neville Street and Main Street, and then the side streets. They're all listed in an exhibit that's attached to the ordinance, and it'll become effective once we do second reading, which will occur in 2 weeks, and we'll have a public hearing at that time. And those spaces that are currently marked as reserved, that people are reserving each month, will remain reserved spaces. They do not fall into the 2-hour free parking. And those spaces that are marked as 15-minute spaces will remain 15-minute spaces.
Okay.
So those are the ones that are already have the signage up. But all the other spaces in town will become free 2-hour parking. The hours will be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And it's something that our parking official will be monitoring, and he will be issuing citations if people continue to park longer than 2 hours in these spaces. So what we need tonight, I'll read it by title. As I stated, in 2 weeks, we'll have the public hearing and second reading if it passes tonight. And the title is Ordinance Establishing Free 2-Hour On-Street Parking in Downtown Beckley. Mayor, we just need a motion to adopt on first reading.
All right, may I have a motion to approve the ordinance as presented?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion, any questions for Mr. Fowle? Okay, very good. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say nay. So moved. Thank you, council. Last thing under new business is the, April is also the Fair Housing Month. And I've got the proclamation that I'm just going to read a little bit of it, not the whole thing. But whereas the Fair Housing Act enacted on April 11th, 1968, enshrined in the federal law the goal of eliminating racial segregation and ending housing discrimination in the United States. So, but the city of Beckley, we are committed to the mission and intent of Congress to provide fair and equal housing opportunities for all. And I, Ryan Neal, Mayor, and the City Council of the City of Beckley, Raleigh County, West Virginia, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Fair Housing Month. So, all right, next up is public comments. And Anthony, who's that?
I'm Anthony.
Hey! You look a little different.
We do have quite a few people online.
Okay, well, so I'll go ahead and read while, Barry West, you're first up. Just a reminder, you got 3 minutes. Yeah, try to keep it 3 minutes. Are we doing that? No. Come on up, Mary. But while Mary West is coming up, don't we usually do that for public comments?
This is after public comments.
That's what I thought. I got this. Believe it or not. Mary West, you can come on up. Meantime, I'll go ahead and, huh?
I can do it from here, y'all can hear me very well. And once again, I thank you all for the start on LaRue Avenue, but please don't let your starter stop. Because I have caught nothing but Hades from people on social media talking junk about those speed humps. And I've had kids coming throwing rocks at my house. And I had to call law enforcement. That's gonna only happen one time because I've raised children and I know how to maintain them and get them back home where they belong. So those that know these kids, tell them to stay from in front of my house throwing rocks. Also, as soon as you can, fix that issue down there. And another thing, those trees that are back there leaning and talking to each other when the wind blows, I'm tired of hearing their conversation. So can you all take those things down or do something? Because it's nothing but a hazard. And if one falls on one of mine, then everybody's gonna know it. Because that is so dangerous. And then please, I thank you all for what you're doing, cleaning up the city, but also Captain Morgan, we need a good drink. Please tell them to clean up these piles. They've got all these squirrels and rabbits hiding in them, and the possums. I'm tired of them coming up on my porch. Maybe they're listening to the city too, talk about, she's nuts. That's why squirrels up there looking in my door trying to see. I ain't there nothing. So please do something more down there to help me on LaRue. And I would appreciate it. I'm not going to demand anything. But whatever happens, happens. So don't demand nothing from me when it does. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I call the next person up, if you all want to check, I'll go ahead and say, if you'd like to public comment if you're online. If you're calling by phone, you can dial *3 to raise your hand. If you're connected by computer, just click that hand icon on your participants panel and we'll let you speak after the next few. So next up is, I can't read the last name, Pamela McTeer? Pamela McTeer. Oh, you ain't the only one. You're good. Trust me.
Good evening. How are you all today?
Doing great. How you doing?
How are you?
Thank you.
My name is Pamela Matier. I'm here with FEMA. I am the Intergovernmental Affairs Specialist for this disaster that currently happened back in February. Just wanted to reach out to you guys and say hello, let you know that we've been in your community. We started last week. I have my notes, make sure I don't forget anything. We met with your EM, Jim Zelinsky, yes, last Wednesday, to get approval to start canvassing the areas that were flooded from the February 15th flood. We had DSA, which are Disaster Survivor Assistance, out in your communities for the areas that he told us we needed to go that he was aware of that had been flooded. So as of today, I thought these were some great numbers. As a whole, we've had 13,000 homes that have been reached out to by this DSA. These are the people who walk around, as we call them, our boots on the ground. But what I think was an amazing number is that we've had 1,300 homes in less than a week in your area that have been canvassed. And I've actually met a gentleman tonight that they've been to his home already, and he wasn't there, but they left the flyer letting them know exactly, that he's been there and the steps to continue to go through to get ready to apply. Just want to say a few things. First of all, April 28th has been declared as the last day to register. Now, I know you're probably saying, we just got on board last week. There has been a request to extend that date, but as of right now, April 28th is that last day. I know that we're currently working on getting a disaster survivor recovery center here in your county. I know that they've been looking at 1 or 2 locations, and we were hoping to have something open this week, but from the last I heard, we're looking at possibly having something open by next week. But we want you to also know that if you know someone that's been affected, they can always go to another county that has already been declared to be able to apply at a location there. I'm going to leave a few flyers here for you guys. I was going to pass them out, but too many of you don't pass it out. But we have 2 flyers here. One is the 4 ways to apply, which again is in person at a DRC. You can call, you can register, or if you want to download the FEMA app, you can go that way as well. We always want to encourage you to go to a location because they can do a whole lot more for you there. They can tell you what you need and what you may not have. But also we want to kind of talk about a few of the things that people have problems with. We have a lot of people that get denied. And they're like, oh, we saw this denial letter, and we're like, what do we do with this denial letter? A lot of times, they're going to deny you out the gate, which I think is horrible. But mainly it's because maybe you didn't have a driver's license or you didn't have a document. So we encourage people to please look through the letter, read it carefully to make sure you see why did they deny you. I think it's unfortunate how they do it. Instead of saying, hey, it's pending, they just say denied. And so folks don't read through the whole letter to see what it is that may be missing. Another thing that people don't realize is that renters, if you rent a place and you got flooded, your items can be recovered. You can apply that way. And again, lastly, just apply. Let FEMA tell you no. That's how we like to say it. You never know what you can get and until you apply. So again, here's a couple of flyers. I would like to get with you, Mr. Garrett, and make sure I get some communication from Mr. Jared, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I've been called a whole lot worse. I've been called a whole lot worse.
Make sure that we're communicating with you. I know all of you
Yes, ma'am.
don't want the email that comes out every week, but definitely want to make sure that I'm getting with you to get some information back and forth to make sure your residents are aware and getting on social media.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm just leaving, like I said, this is kind of just some stats of kind of where we've been over the last month or so. If you want to pass it over, that would be great. So you'll have that information. And again, I'll make sure that he has my contact information.
Okay.
And if y'all have any questions, that's it.
If we could take
Thank you.
pictures of that so we could all post that on social media?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Christina Basie.
Good evening, Christina Baisden. I am continuously disappointed in the transparency in this council and in this city administration. I put in a FOIA request for the budget, which I had to come down here to City Hall in the afternoon to receive in print, and I paid $29, which is fine. However, other people who have put in FOIA requests for the same documentation has been sent an email with a PDF file. So I don't understand why I'm being treated differently. That's one. Two is this ordinance about the 2-hour on-street parking in downtown Beckley. We have a parking commission for a reason. The parking commission was canceled on March 22nd. There were no decisions made about this 2-hour parking in that parking commission meeting previously. So why are we bypassing our processes as a council and passing this ordinance? Last of all is potential executive session is written on this agenda, and you are required to post why you are having this executive session, and it is not here. Lastly, I want to leave you with my disappointment about Mr. Brian Brown's project for the district, on how every single one of you were in such awe of his presentation and his vision for the district, and yet when he met with the city manager, it was immediately closed door. We cannot do this, we cannot provide, we cannot. There was no solutions given to support this project that would benefit not only our residents, but our quote-unquote tourism, which is such a highlight in West Virginia. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll look into it. Bev Moore, am I saying that right? Bev? Reverend.
Calvin.
Reverend. Height your thing.
I got 3 minutes, right?
3 minutes.
For the oncoming years, I put it that way, where I live has been constantly flooded. Stormwater wise, sewer wise. Somebody asked why we hadn't moved. It's our first house for one thing. We love the neighborhood, secondly. Thirdly, and most important, the city promised us that they would fix it. Not put a Band-Aid on it, fix it. They've been putting Band-Aids on it for a number of years. I can tell you exactly how many, but I won't do that. But each time it floods, or each time we come a hard rain, one of us is up, usually me, watching the height of the water. The city has sent somebody out there to give us an appraisal, which I don't think was fair, for the simple reason the flooding over the years has shifted our foundation. So much so, we have cracks in all the walls except in the living room. The only reason why we ain't got them in the living room, because the living room is paneling, and paneling moves with the studs. But everybody tell me there's nothing we can do. But for years, they've been telling me, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. But ain't nothing been done.
Okay.
But I have noticed that over the years, and when I say years, it's been a long time, when it comes to things being fixed in that area, we have always been put on the back burner. Always. And can't nobody even tell me that we haven't. Because I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. The important neighborhoods, as people say, gets first crack at it. And then what's left over, if anything's left over, which usually it ain't. Because a few years ago, somebody came to me, I don't call no names, we don't have the money.
30 seconds.
But in the meantime, my foundation is shifting. The foundation of my sheds that I built, and I don't build no junk. I got a witness back there. I don't build no junk. It done almost ate the foundation of my 2 sheds up. And if anybody think I'm lying, I got documentation to show you just how bad it gets. I got an F-150. Sometimes the water gets high enough to go across the running boards. And that truck sits 3 foot off the ground. But it ain't nothing nobody can do. People come out there, they observed it. Most people think, they come out there and look at it, it comes from the other yard. No, it don't. It comes out of the sanitary drain, the regular drain, and it runs up my driveway, then it goes in the other yard. And how I know this, and if anybody would have been paying attention, the leaves was on my side of the fence, not the other side.
Okay.
If the water was coming from the other side.
Reverend, I hate, we'll look into it. I promise you.
Where's this at? What was
Can I make a
It's at the
comment?
end of Hartley.
It's
Yeah.
at the end of Hartley. I've heard it
I
discussed
know
many
where it's at.
times, believe me.
Can I make a comment,
where it's
Mayor?
at.
Sure. Go ahead, Janine.
We have gone to the sanitary board, and that's where basically it has been addressed, is at the sanitary
Right.
board, and that's where it needs
Yes.
to be addressed, because it is a stormwater issue. What Mr. Moore's problem is right now is that the appraised value of his home, he is requesting additional funding to move, because he's going to have to move because the structure is messed up on his home. I've spoken to Jeremiah several times, and I get aggravated as much as I think Mr. Reverend Moore because of the procrastination. These people have been complaining, as far as we know, for over 40, 50, 60 years. Brian Brown can attest to that because when he lived on Hartley, they are starting the project. Phase 1 is starting way on the Pinecrest development area, and then it'll come on over on Hartley. But the procrastination has been horrible, because I've been complaining too with Mr. Reverend Moore since 2016, since I've been on council. But I know Reverend Moore they're gonna have to move, but the appraised value, I think they gave you was what, 50,000 of his home, and he was saying that there is no way, and we know that there's no place in Beckley that you can find for 50,000. So he's requesting additional funding to move, and that's really what you're wanting, is that correct? Okay, all right. Okay.
Because I was told by an engineer, he said, and I had noticed it, and I've been there a long time. We live in a bowl. We get water on 5 different places.
Okay.
We get it coming
Okay.
down Hartley, down Hunt.
Right, okay, but that's with the sanitary board. That's where we need to go back to, is the sanitary board. And I don't mind, I can go back with you and make it happen.
Okay, we'll look.
I'm sorry,
No,
thank you.
we're good.
I just wanted to address it.
All right, so we are going into executive session?
No.
Oh,
No.
yep, so relieved. Yeah, is there anybody that wanted to speak? Any public comments? Real quick before we adjourn, there is a special meeting of the Common Council of the City of Beckley. It'll be Tuesday here at 8 a.m. In the council chambers. So with that, may I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second?
Second.
Great.